Now, I will present a new risk factor in prediction modeling, net reclassification improvement. Multiple biomarkers often have highly correlated results. Therefore, when we assess a new risk factor, we need to understand its added value. The conventional way of doing so is to evaluate the improvement in the area under the receiver operating characteristic curve, AUROC. However, a risk factor may be deemed to have clinically meaningful differences, but lead to only a small increase in the AUROC. For example, if researchers based their findings purely on the delta AUC, they likely would underestimate the role of HDL in predicting coronary heart disease. The AUC also has other limitations. Although the AUC is a metric to show global accuracy, it does not contain information to determine the correct disease classification or absolute patient numbers. Two tests with the same or similar AUC can have different sensitivity and specificity values, and also different positive and negative predictive values. Penchina introduced net reclassification improvement, NRI, as a new measure to evaluate the added value of a new risk factor. The net reclassification improvement measure overcomes the limitations of conventional approaches. The net reclassification improvement considers individuals with and without events separately. We cross-tabulated two classifications from the prediction models, with and without the new risk factor, across 3 risk levels. For those with events, any upward movement in risk categories implies improved classification of the prediction model with the new risk factor compared with the model without the new risk factor, and downward movement suggests worse classification. For individuals without events, downward movement in risk categories implies improved classification, and upward movement suggests worse classification. This slide shows the formula to calculate net reclassification improvement for individuals with the event. This slide shows the formula to calculate net reclassification improvement for individuals without the event. The overall net reclassification improvement is the sum of the net percentages of correctly reclassified persons with and without the event of interest. We need to understand the potential limitations of net reclassification improvement. See the slide. We used an example to illustrate the use of net reclassification improvement in economic modeling. You may read our article and the references for the details. We now conclude our presentation. Let us review the key messages of consideration for implementing the new test, as a replacement test and as a triage test. As an add-on test in 2 tests, in 3 or more tests. As a new risk factor or biomarker in risk prediction. In conclusion, the newer statistical methods may improve upon often used problematic and simplistic approaches to modeling multiple tests. Using these methods may provide more accurate estimates for the cost-effectiveness analyses. Here is the timeline of this article.